So, with the massive news that Raymond Faitala-Mariner has been told to look elsewhere from the Bulldogs, even though Gus Gilt has came out and said that is not the case, I honestly believe where there's smoke, there's fire. This has opened me up to the discussion, especially with Big Tino, Payne Haas on the market, a whole lot of players on the market. Who would you bring to the Warriors for the future? These are my three players that I think we can maybe bring over that aren't too unrealistic, in my opinion, that we could bring to the club and have a big future for us. Quick disclaimer before we get into this video as well, I honestly do not believe that we should be bringing players like this to our club. I honestly think that we have the depth to cover all these positions. Everything that we need is in our club and in our junior grades. If you look at the NRL in general, I believe that some of the best players in the NRL are born and bred from New Zealand. Look at Dylan Brown, look at Isaiah Papali, we used to have at a club. Look at Britton Nakora, you know, that team is fucking amazing. So I honestly do believe that we should grow from beneath, but these are three players that I think would do awesome in Warriors colors. Number one is RFM himself, Raymond Faitala-Mariner, the player that I had all the way in my mind thinking that, like, the reason why I made this video, he's the reason why I was like, maybe we could bring him back home. 30 years old, I think that's definitely a negative in my opinion. He's more so towards the end of career than he is the start of his career, but I believe his experience would be awesome for us in the future as well. A really nice edge back roller, or could play in the middle position. I think he does his best work through the middle as well. That doesn't really compare us with, like, you know, we got Tohu in that position as well, but there is opportunity to maybe push Tohu up front, or maybe, you know, we can bring Raymond off the bench. That could be another really strike forward off the bench and just really add depth in our forward back. I believe that's the only area where I could see us, even though I think we have a deadly forward back already and with the depth all through our grade, I believe that could be one area we could touch on. And with players like Spencer Linu and Griffin Neem, a couple of players that did come to mind for me overall that are now contracted, they're locked up to other teams with new contracts. I really did think, I was like, when RFM came on, I was like, maybe RFM could come to our club and just bring a whole new experience to our forward pack. I believe defensively, he's amazing at holding a 94% tackle efficiency, but also does a whole lot of great work offensive end. He breaks a whole lot of tackles, some really nice offloads, does really good work for the middle. So I would love to have him at the Warriors. Whether the price to, you know, how old he is really weighs up, I'm not too sure, but definitely someone I could see in Warriors colors in the future. Number two could be a little bit too far out of our reach, but honestly, I believe that there maybe is a chance we could even snick this guy off the Roosters because he ends his contract at the end of 2024. This is someone that has had massive raps over him all the way through to junior grades, and that is Xavier Va'a. With the comparisons of Payne Haas in the junior grades, 193 centimeters tall, 116 kgs. Payne Haas is 194 centimeters tall and 117 kgs. You can see why the comparisons have happened, but the big con with Xavier Va'a is why has he not cracked the NRL at the moment, especially with the Roosters to start the year, not having a whole lot of middle forward depth. They had a bit of trouble with their middle forwards. Why has he not found himself in that top grade or even finding a little bench spot over someone like a Wong or, you know, other players that have played that position? But watching Xavier Va'a in like Maroons under 19s or even in some games in New South Wales Cup, you can see the potential that is bestowed upon him by the Payne Haas comparisons. The man has a massive motor, someone that I could see really working really well with AFB up front, or even with our junior grade with someone like Big Zion coming through the grades or Domi Ale. I reckon they could pair up with both those guys. And even though, so looking at players like Tino and Payne Haas, they're going to be offering a massive wicket. I'm not too sure what we could offer him to bring him over to New Zealand. Maybe he wants to go home to Queensland because he's at the Roosters. Maybe that's the reason why he's not playing top grade. But if we offer him a good deal and entice him with the country is behind us, and especially the way that all the fans, all you guys are turning out to the games and making the field, like making Mount Smart, making Go Media Stadium looking so good, especially with the walkouts of the Warriors. I don't understand why we can't be a club that can lure players like this, especially big juniors, to the club, especially with the whole country behind them. And lastly, someone that I believe we can bring off the bench as a momentum forward that could even carry over to be a really good forward for the future. I'm not too sure if his potential can take him to that level, but when going through the Cowboys system, he was said to be that guy. Is Mr. Wiramu Greg. I think he'd be an amazing piece for us, especially coming off the bench when Adam Fanor-Blake comes off the field. We have Bunty Afoa, we have Mitch Barnett, players like that, you know, Bunty doesn't really get those post-contact meters the way I really want him to, punching through the line. Someone like a Wiramu Greg punches through the line better than some that are around in the competition at the moment that could be on the market in the future. So 23 years old, born in New Zealand, definitely something that we can entice him coming back home to New Zealand. 192 centimeters tall, 124 kgs. He's a big bopper with a 93 tackle efficiency that can average over 150 meters run and also average over 60 post-contact meters a game when you give him decent minutes. This is a player I believe that can do amazing wonders for us at our club in the future. The only cons to Mr. Watamu Greg is, number one, the Eels are actually looking at locking him up for a 3 more year extension. Whether he goes that way or not, it has not been. This was touted in May, June. So pretty early on. There's been no talks on him locking that up yet, so maybe he is willing to maybe go somewhere else, who knows, but definitely someone that I reckon that we could do some wonders with at the moment. And before we end the video, I'm going to go 2 massive honorable mentions, and these guys are more fantasy picks. I honestly do not believe they're going to be leaving their clubs anytime soon, but with them testing the market, I believe that Big Tino and Payne Haas would be fucking mental. Either one of those two, I don't know. We probably cannot afford it, especially looking at the top paid forwards in the league at the moment with Adam Fanor-Blake on some big bicky, with a whole lot of other players that are out on some decent cash at the Warriors. I don't know if we can afford those boys, and I really would say that I don't think we can. But could you imagine a pairing of AFB and Tino, or a pairing of AFB and Payne Haas? And this is no like shade on all the boys that we have at the club at the moment. I believe we got the talent there to do something like that. But these guys are like generational. Like Tino is generational in my opinion. Payne Haas is definitely generational. Could you imagine those boys at our clubs in Warriors colors? Cannot happen, will not happen. I don't believe it will happen. Maybe more so swinging towards Payne Haas. I'm not too sure. Like Payne Haas, I think maybe they could be close with like someone like a AFB. I'm not too sure, but maybe we could bring him over to New Zealand. That would be amazing. So you guys, comment down below your top 3 players, or anyone, just any players that you believe that we could be chasing to bring to the club. Honestly, I believe across the park that we are pretty set. Like, you know, we got halfback depth. We got like, you know, just both halves depths in general. We got fullback depth with Tane Tuapiki. He's got a whole lot of future. I believe he's amazing. We got like, even if like center for me is a position that we have not been amazing at, but with RTS coming back to the club, maybe looking at playing center, I believe we got depth in that position as well. Looking up Adam Pompey, we had Ali Laetoa. All these boys, like they're playing amazing football. Rocco Berry's been amazing at the moment. These guys are growing into the potential we know. And I don't really think we need to go down this route, but this is open discussion. It's something I'm really excited to talk about because I think it'd be awesome to talk about this, and especially with different teams and all that sort of stuff on the channel. So I hope you guys enjoy. Comment down below your thoughts. Thank you so much, guys. Peace out.